Hi there. In this recap, we'll see a spaceship with a crew of 3 as they enter a wormhole to travel through space. But an accident happens that changes their destination and fate. And remember, spoilers ahead. Please like, share and subscribe to show support because it means a lot. In the distant future, a spaceship with a hungover crew, who partied too hard the night before, prepare to enter a wormhole. Tom is the captain, and the other two are Susie and Ray. They check the computer to make sure all input is correct. As the ship approaches the wormhole, all of them step into their hibernation pods and prepare for a long sleep. The ship passes through. But, suddenly, there is a flash, and Tom wakes up to notice an error warning nearby. He looks outside the window, but doesn't recognize the space station. He wakes up Susie, and checks the computer to see where they ended up. Suddenly the door behind them opens. 3 mysterious figures enter the room. One of them calls out for Tom. He recognizes her. She's Greta, their old friend. She tells them a routing error caused their ship to go off course, and they're at the Sheeter sector. Susie protests but she's confused and dizzy. She passes out, so they put her back into her pod to recover. Later they both are at the bar catching up on past times and sharing a drink. Greta remembers his impressive pumping skills, even in zero gravity. Tom says he's surprised to see Greta here, of all places. She says perhaps it's just fate written in the stars. Afterwards, they have a space shag to unwind. When they're done and relaxing, Greta says she's not been completely honest with Tom. She tells him they've actually ended up 150,000 light years away. He realizes there's no way to reach Earth alive and gets frustrated at her for lying. She tells him not to despair because they're still alive. He asks how she got here, and she tells him it's always the same routing error for everyone. Then they return to Susie and wake her up. Tom asks her what she remembers. She says dreams of this place. She asks who the other woman is. Tom tries to explain, but she says it's not Greta. She starts freaking out at Greta and tells Tom to just look at her. Susie lunges on her, and manages to cut her slightly on the neck, before Greta can sedate her. She says they'll try again later, as many times as they need to. Next, they're back on the bed, and Tom sees Greta's scar has vanished. He asks Greta to tell him the whole truth, and he doesn't want this fake reality. She tells him he's alive, but being fed a simulation, and that Tom might not be ready for the truth. He commands her to show it right now. She apologizes and tells him she genuinely cares for all the lost souls that end up here. Suddenly, Tom wakes up and finds his actual reality to be a horrifying contrast of what he saw till now. We see that his ship has actually fallen into something out of a nightmare. A mix of a parasite and an alien space colony, but his crew isn't alone. Several other ships have also been trapped here. He hears someone calling his name. From the darkness, a monstrous creature with an inhuman form emerges. This is what keeps them trapped in the illusion, and feeds on their mind. Tom screams in horror at the sight of this alien creature. And suddenly, he wakes up again, back in his pod, like nothing happened. Just like before, Greta enters, but some small changes are noticeable. The cycle repeats yet again. The end. I hope you enjoyed this recap. Thank you, and see you in the next one.